Hello everyone, a new adaptation of The Lincoln Lawyer has arrived on Netflix. And what can I say? I liked it. So The Lincoln Lawyer is based on Michael Connelly's best-selling series, and it was made into a movie with Matthew McConaughey, and I have to say I really love that adaptation. That was one of my favorite movies of the past decade. I wish it had a sequel, but this is almost like almost a remake or like a loose sequel. It's based on the second novel called The Brass Verdict, and overall I like it. It's the same characters but with a different cast, so think of like going from Chris Pine's Jack Ryan to John Krasinski's, or like Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher to Alan Ritchson. It's like that. It's different. I have not read all the books. I have not read the book that this is based on, but I read some of the books, and I really love Michael Connelly's works. I love the Lincoln Lawyer film, and I was highly anticipating this, and mainly for the lead, Manuel Garcia Rolfo, and I loved him in The Magnificent Seven, and I thought he was great as Narciso in From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. We also have Neve Campbell join him as his ex-wife. She plays the character of Maggie McPherson, and you know, we saw her played by Marissa Tomei in the film. I like their relationship here. We also have Jazz Ray Cole as Izzy Letts, who's kind of like his driver slash assistant. I love all the sidekicks. The sidekicks have a good dynamic. His group, the way they solve cases and help them, is a pretty good dynamic on the show. We also have Christopher Gorham as Trevor Elliott. You may recognize him as Augie from Covert Affairs. He's somebody that Mickey Haller has to represent throughout the course of the series. And overall, really love the charisma that Manuel Garcia Rolfo has as Mickey Haller. It's a very different interpretation. Matthew McConaughey's great on his own. This guy is great on his own, is still that charismatic character that Mickey Haller is. And I love it, you know, it's very much like, think of Tom Cruise and Alan Ritchson as Jack Reacher, two very different interpretations, but they both embody that character. And granted, anytime there's a book adaptation, it's not always going to be 100%, but I judged it based on a show on its own, and I have to say I really liked what David E. Kelley brought us, this kind of procedural drama. It is more of a slow burn. It feels like a novel, actually. I like that they're adapting novels, even if it's not 100% to like the long narrative format of streaming. I enjoyed Jack Reacher earlier this year, and this was a pleasant surprise. I love Mickey Haller's relationship with his wives, with his crew, and I also love the dynamic he has with his daughter, being a father to her, dealing with all the stuff in his life. And Mickey Haller is a very different character at the beginning of this. He had a surfing accident. He got addicted to opioids and drugs, and he's been sober for the time, but he hasn't taken a case in a long time. So he's gone a year without any cases. It opens up with his attorney getting killed, gunned down in this parking garage, and he left all of his cases to Mickey Haller. So he basically inherits this other attorney's cases, has to take them, and we get to see that. We get to see a murder trial throughout the course of this season, as well as other smaller cases in between. So it balances itself out and really utilizes the full 10 episodes. But overall, I really like it because he has to prove himself and get back in the saddle again, so to speak. And I like it also because there's plenty of twists and turns in a Lincoln Lawyer kind of way. If you're familiar with the film, it very much is like that, where like the first 8 episodes are pretty solid and you think it's all done, and it's like, nope, 9 and 10 throw a curveball and stuff just gets a little bit crazy. Not as crazy as the film, but pretty crazy. And that's pretty much the gist of this season without going too deep into spoilers. Again, I like what he does as Mickey Haller. We get to go more into detail of why he's a Lincoln Lawyer. We get to see more Lincoln models. Although it would have been funny to see Matthew McConaughey again, you know, just like, here I am driving my Lincoln. But I love what Manuel Garcia Rolfo does in this role. I really do. He brings a new, fresh take to the character. And you're going to have a lot of people complain about the background. You don't even think about that. Yeah, he speaks in Spanish, but he's still Mickey Haller. It's a different character. In the same way that, like, Tom Cruise is Jack Reacher, even though he's too short and he's not the body frame, he's still Jack Reacher, you know? So I would say be open to it, but also if you're into, like, long dramas, kind of procedural dramas, you're going to really enjoy this show. And I want to read the other books because I like the author's works. I didn't get to read all of them. I have not read Brass Verdict. I read the first one and then some of the later ones. I went out of order, but like I said, It's very different from the movie, but if you enjoy the movie, I think you're going to enjoy this. Maybe not as much, maybe just as much, maybe more. I don't know. That varies on the viewer. But if I had to give it a score, I would give it a 4 out of 5 and a B+. And I think it can get stronger with future seasons. Originally, this was supposed to be on CBS, and it got canceled right before it aired. Like the first episode was in a film because of COVID. So luckily, Netflix picked it up. They're able to have a little bit more. But outside of that, I love the supporting cast. They all play their parts well. Neve Campbell, it's great seeing her in anything, and I love the dynamic she has with the Lincoln lawyer here. Like, she's what makes the show. The two main leads make this show, hands down. And yeah, those are just my brief thoughts on the Lincoln lawyer. Again, if you're a fan of like long procedural dramas, you might like this. If you're a fan of the books, I don't know. That varies, you know. I mean, I'm a fan of Anne Rice's stuff in The Interview with the Vampire. You know, book adaptations are tricky. They sometimes don't do it 100%. It's like video game adaptations or just adaptations of anything. So you almost have to look at it as its own thing. But overall, I really enjoyed it, and it's a simple kind of show that we kind of need more, you know? It's kind of like back to the old days of procedural dramas, and I kind of miss that. You could definitely tell it's supposed to be like on network TV before it was on Netflix. I definitely think it could have worked there, but I hope to see them push the envelope further, like FX or like HBO Max or something, or even like the Lincoln Lawyer movie. Just go full intense and really go up there with the content. I would like to see that. And yeah, it's a golden age for television and like adaptation. So hopefully this gets a season 2, but if not, it was its own thing. Kind of like Jack Ryan, where it's like it's a reboot. This one's based on a book, so it's not like doing its own thing entirely. But it's kind of like Jack Ryan, where it's like, yeah, it could continue from the movies, even though it's not the same origin entirely. It's almost like a loose sequel. And that's how I look at this after the McConaughey film. And in the meantime, you can subscribe for more videos and let me know down in the comments below, what did you think of the Lincoln Lawyer? Which Lincoln Lawyer book is your favorite? Let me know what your favorite novel from the series is down in the comments below. And check out these other videos for more content. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Till next time.